Hello everyone, welcome to Tennis Fan Video. Alex Eala's Australian Open debut didn't exactly go to plan. The Filipina lost her first round match to Alicia Parks in 3 sets, 6-0, 3-6, 2-6. However, it was before her opening match that Eala found herself in a dangerous situation. Appearing as a guest on the latest episode of the Players Box podcast, Eala shared what happened to her after a practice session in Melbourne. Alex Eala couldn't move due to overcrowding after her Australian Open practice. Eala's popularity reached new heights in Melbourne, with fans forming long queues to catch a glimpse of her practice sessions. "That's another thing I had to get used to, my practices," said Eala. "That's how I knew. I was like, okay, things have changed, is when they are waiting for my practices." At the beginning of the year, it was a little overwhelming for me, in terms of that exposure. In Australia, I trained outside on one of the courts. There's the bleachers on the sides, and there's kind of this ramp going up. And I did not have security. Next time, I will probably make sure they're there. But after training, it was full. I went out of the court, and the traffic of people coming because they wanted me to sign, I couldn't move. And there's a wall back here, gestures. The traffic of people couldn't see what was happening over there. They're all just pushing. They're all pushing you against the wall. I was getting closer and closer to the wall. I was like, oh, that's kind of dangerous. I was with my dad and my coach, and I just shouted, "Wait, give me some space, or I'm going to get run over." Then they all stopped, and I made my way through. Eala, learning just how popular she was, decided that security was necessary. "Do you remember when you came into the locker room after that practice? You were like, 'Oh my God, so many people,'" asked Desiree Krawczyk. I was like, "You can ask for security?" She's like, "Wait, really?" "Yes. Ask for security." Then you went out, practiced on one of the main courts, came back, and were like, "Oh my gosh, the security helped so much." Like, yeah, you're crazy big here. "That was also part of me not accepting it," added Eala. "Why do I need security? I'm going to practice. I don't want to feel like my head is here getting bigger." But when it comes to safety, Eala now knows how much of a superstar she has become, not just in Australia, but around the world. World number 5 Jessica Pegula recalled a story from the Dubai Tennis Championships earlier this year before asking Eala where she gets the most crowd support. "Des, Krawczyk and I were both in Dubai. You could hear your match from the hotel, which was really funny," said Pegula. "My coach was like, 'I heard this noise outside. What is going on? I haven't heard this loud noise at all.' Then he looked, and it was for Alex's match. It was wild." Where do you feel like, so far that you've played, do you think you have the most support? "I think New York is a big one. New York was big, Melbourne at home, and Dubai," said Eala. The Middle East in general has a huge population of Filipinos. Not a lot of people know that, I guess. I was talking to one of the players in the physio room. It was before going to Abu Dhabi. She was like, "If you have a crowd there, you'll have a crowd anywhere, because the Middle Eastern tournaments are known for not being as packed as other tournaments." I was like, wait, you don't even know the number of Filipinos that are there. So it's like the opposite, for me. Those areas are where I have the most crowds, whereas for other players, maybe they would have the least. Her fans will continue to support her over the coming months. But where is Eala heading next? What's next for Alex Eala? Eala confirmed her plans for the clay court season during her latest podcast appearance. "I go back to Spain tonight, and then I start again in Linz and maybe Stuttgart, then Madrid, Rome. Exciting," she said. Alex Eala's 2026 clay court schedule. Linz Open begins April 6th. Stuttgart Open begins April 13th. Madrid Open begins April 20th. Italian Open begins May 5th. French Open begins May 18th. The 20-year-old only won one main draw WTA Tour match on clay last year and will be determined to improve upon that record in 2026. In professional tennis, the difference between triumph and disaster is often measured in seconds. A single step too late, a mistimed stretch, or a moment when the body simply refuses to respond can turn a routine point into a frightening experience. For rising tennis star Alex Eala, one of those moments came during the Australian Open, when she suddenly found herself unable to move, an experience she later described as dangerous and unforgettable. For fans who have followed Eala's journey, the young Filipina has built a reputation for courage and relentless energy on the court. Trained at the prestigious Rafa Nadal Academy, she plays with a fearless baseline game and the kind of fighting spirit that has made her one of the most exciting prospects in Asian tennis. But even the toughest competitors face moments that remind them just how fragile the human body can be. The Australian Open, often called the Happy Slam, is famous for its electric atmosphere, passionate crowds, and brutal summer heat. Melbourne's courts can feel like furnaces under the sun, pushing players to their physical limits. For a young athlete like Eala, competing on one of tennis's biggest stages is both a dream and a test of endurance. During one particular match, Eala experienced a moment that instantly turned from competitive intensity to genuine concern. In the middle of a rally, she suddenly realized something was wrong. Her body felt heavy, almost frozen, and her legs refused to respond the way they normally would. "I remember trying to move for the ball," she later recalled, "and for a second, I just couldn't." For tennis players, movement is everything. The sport demands explosive sprints, sudden stops, and rapid changes in direction. When your body doesn't cooperate, even for a moment, it can feel terrifying. In Eala's case, the situation was even more alarming because it happened in the middle of a point. The rally continued, but she was momentarily trapped in place, watching the ball travel across the court. That split-second hesitation made her realize how dangerous the situation could have been. In a sport played at such high speed, being unable to move can expose a player to injury or worse. Fortunately, the moment passed quickly. Her body responded again, and she managed to regain control of her movement. But the scare left a deep impression. Later, reflecting on the incident, Eala admitted that it forced her to think about the physical limits athletes constantly push against. "Tennis players train so much, and we push our bodies every day," she explained. But moments like that remind you that things can happen suddenly. The Australian Open is known for its demanding conditions. Temperatures can soar above 35 degrees Celsius (95 degrees Fahrenheit), and the combination of heat, long rallies, and intense pressure can create extreme stress on players' bodies. Even the world's best athletes sometimes struggle to cope with the conditions. For a young competitor still developing physically, the challenge can be even greater. Eala's experience highlighted how important preparation, hydration, and recovery are in professional tennis. Despite the frightening moment, Eala didn't let the incident shake her confidence. If anything, it strengthened her resolve. Those who know her best often talk about her resilience, the ability to learn from difficult experiences and come back stronger. That mindset has been a defining trait throughout her career. Eala has spent years building her game step by step. From winning junior Grand Slam titles to climbing the professional rankings, she has embraced every challenge along the way. Her journey has not only made her a national sports hero in the Philippines, but also a symbol of what determination can achieve. Moments like the one at the Australian Open are rarely visible to fans watching from home. Spectators see the rallies, the winners, and the scoreline, but they rarely see the physical and mental battles happening behind the scenes. For Eala, that brief loss of movement became a powerful lesson. It reminded her to listen to her body and respect the demands of the sport. Athletes often talk about the fine balance between pushing limits and protecting themselves. Push too hard, and you risk injury. Hold back too much, and you might never reach your potential. Eala's experience sits right at the heart of that balance. The good news is that she emerged from the moment unharmed and continued her development on tour. In the months since, she has focused even more on conditioning, recovery, and understanding how to manage her body during high-pressure matches. Her team at the Rafa Nadal Academy has emphasized the importance of physical awareness, recognizing early signs of fatigue or stress before they become serious problems. For young athletes around the world, Eala's story carries an important message. Success in sports is not just about talent or technique. It's also about learning how to take care of your body in the most demanding situations. And for fans, it adds another layer to her inspiring journey. Every great athlete has moments that test them, moments when fear, uncertainty, or physical limits suddenly appear. What defines champions is how they respond afterward. Alex Eala responded the only way she knows how, by continuing to fight, improve, and move forward. Today, she stands as one of the brightest young stars in tennis, with a future full of possibilities. Her experience at the Australian Open may have been frightening in the moment, but it also became a reminder of the strength and resilience that define her career. In the end, the moment when she couldn't move did not stop her journey. Instead, it became just another chapter in the story of a rising star determined to keep moving, no matter what challenges stand in her way. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share. Till next time.